The air is filled with excitement, and there's the sense of discovering a new world. Our cameras have simply not been able to stop rolling. These extraordinary primates are aware that change is no longer imminent. It's right here on their own doorstep.
She's traveling through the wild. She's searching for the truth. Between nature's child, she's gonna find the proof. Picking up the trail, she's gonna find the answers. She's gonna tell the tale. She's gonna tell the tale. Keep it wild, keep it free. This could be our last chance to see.
After a call from an old friend, we're heading to Hoedspruit to see firsthand the remarkable efforts of her team in the rescue and rehabilitation of Chacma baboons. This is a warming story of forging new bonds and a new lease on life. And we're on hand to capture this momentous release of a baboon troop back into the wild.
The air is alive with the sounds of grunts, barking and shrieking. To the uninitiated, it might sound like you're witnessing a violent event. But to the people here at C.A.R.E, these are the voices of primates who have faced massive challenges. And they're about to taste freedom one more time, hopefully forever.
The atmosphere is tense as Tobias and his troop of 11 are being loaded for transportation away from the only home they've ever known at the C.A.R.E headquarters. For Tobias, Baracha, Jack, Mom Papaya and Baby Papaya, and the others, this is their journey to freedom. Nerves are on edge, especially since one troop member simply refuses to cooperate. Slash has decided that he's going nowhere. With time of the essence, Slash is dodging the staff's attempts at capture. Catching a baboon is no mean feat, as they can be extremely dangerous when cornered. Get too close and you could get a nasty bite.
Baboons are not necessarily the most likable of creatures, especially when they shout you down and bare their canines. Out of interest, those canines can reach up to 2 inches in size. Now, that's bigger than a lion's canine. We're surrounded by approximately 500 Chacma baboons, and all of them come from a place of persecution. They've either watched their families being shot, they've lost limbs due to human contact, some of them have been orphaned. They find themselves here at the Centre for Animal Rehabilitation and Education, otherwise known as C.A.R.E. For the past 2 decades, C.A.R.E have been working on a method that has now revolutionized the rehabilitation and release of baboon troops.
The capture of Chacma baboons is a tactful process. These are intelligent primates, and there's often only one chance to trick them into their trap. The equipment is checked and rechecked, and the procedure recounted over and over to ensure success. Relocation takes a long time, and there's still a long road trip ahead. The clock is ticking.
Stephen, today's a really big day here at C.A.R.E because this troop are going to be relocated. Now, this family of 11, what are some of the stories as to where they come from? Have they been abused?
And most of them are orphans. Their mothers have been shot by farmers. They don't have the heart to kill the baby when they find it on the mother. So someone either raises it and then it becomes too big and they bring it to us, or they bring it straight to us.
Chacma baboons are not protected in South Africa and have been persecuted by people for decades. With their eating habits keeping them on the move, combined with their rapidly diminishing habitat due to human encroachment, it's impossible for Chacmas to live without coming into contact with us. And the results for the baboons can be devastating.
This could be our last chance to see. She's searching for the truth.
The woman who's the brains behind C.A.R.E, Rita, hasn't always lived on the banks of the Olifants River in what must be one of the hottest places in South Africa. Rita used to be a career woman, and she'd fly herself from location to location in her very own small aircraft. Until she went to Namibia, where she met Bobby. Well, Rita's life changed, and so did the lives of thousands of baboons.
Bobby was the very first baboon I ever saw. I thought she was so amazing. And I couldn't believe that there's an animal that intelligent. And yeah, that's how we started. And then when I moved here, of course, it was Bobby and me. And Bobby had the whole bushveld for herself, and she did, oh, what a lot of nonsense, you have no idea. And the first baboons that came in eventually, she actually helped me, but I didn't really know much about how baboons handle babies and that they're inclined to be aunties and what have you. So she had a great time, you know. We had a great time.
Rita, I'm listening to all the baboons on the roof of this house now. There's a lot of activity. I mean, you're living in Baboon Alley, basically.
Yes. You know, I could sit here and give you a running commentary what they're saying. Now they're fighting, now they're happy, now there's this, and oh gosh, now there's a warning call. You learn practically their language. The wild baboons, as you know, are not that wild anymore. They just pitched up in 1992. But in those days, people just you know, they shot them for fun and poisoned them for fun. And they practically pitched up here looking for refuge.
Rita, you've developed a method that has revolutionized the rehabilitation and the release of baboon troops.
Yes, yes, that was very interesting because basically what I had to do is really look very closely at what baboons did. Sit back and say, yeah, I can do it, because with all these babies that came, I mean, you didn't have to be a professor to say, well, I'll make my own troops. It was logical.
Simulating the natural mother, security and comfort are provided to new orphans by human foster mothers who initially carry and sleep with the babies, who cling to them 24 hours a day. As the infant grows, they are introduced to other youngsters of a similar age and carefully bonded until they become friends, an alliance that often lasts throughout their lifetime. Gradually, these pairs are brought together in a troop to learn the social skills necessary for their development and establish dominance and rank as they become adept at caring for themselves. Rehabilitation is a long process, and it's closely monitored. But today belongs to Tobias's troop, if Slash plays ball, of course. As the day heats up and time keeps ticking, tempers fray, as Stephen and his team prepare once again to catch Sly Slash, the Houdini of the baboons.
Stephen, you've even put Slash's little sister right next to that cage to entice him in, but that's not even working.
He's clever. You know, he can see the trap and he's not biting, so.
This is quite a process. It's the third time that Stephen is going in with an item from the menu. Now, on the menu today are fruit sticks, oranges, peanuts, breakfast cereals, millies. He's really trying every kind of food item to get Slash down and into that cage.
Come, Boykie.
So when it comes to foodstuffs and it's time to now bring out the big guns, what's the next item on the menu?
It'll have to be eggs. Eggs is a big favorite for the baboons, and they go crazy over eggs, so let's see if it works. Did you see that interest? I broke the egg inside so that he's not going to get much. That's just an empty shell.
Uh-huh.
I broke the egg inside, so he has to go in and lick it up.
Huh.
So he knows there's more egg in there.
So now he's
Yeah.
going to go back in. Now he's going for the yolk. Here we go. Okay.
Pull it!
Go! Stephen, the eggs didn't work. How's he feeling right now? Is he a bit spooked?
I think he's spooked. I think you often only get one chance, and if you miss it, then you don't get it again. But I don't know, give him a bit of time. He's gonna get hungry. He's had an egg. He's had some fruit sticks, so maybe he'll get inquisitive enough to go in.
Well, Slash is quite a crafty baboon, I'd say.
Slash is determined not to be caught, and as determined to ignore us completely. It's the big wait, a battle of wits and will, and as the day wears on, the troop sits it out. Bored, and in some cases, fast asleep.
Hello, C.A.R.E? Yes.
Away from the capture, it's business as usual.
Oh, my
Rita has an emergency call from Tanin, where an infant baboon has been found on the side of the road. It's a long road ahead, and this gives Rita time for reflection on this all-too-familiar story. The mother was killed by a car. Back at C.A.R.E, the midday heat hangs heavily over the cages as minute by minute passes. Stephen has had to make a tough decision.
Come, Bennett. And the time is going.
The baboons are quiet. They watch. They wait. The silence is deafening. Darting is always a last resort. There's a potential for things to go wrong. Drugged baboons may fall from trees and injure themselves. An accurate rump or shoulder shot is critical.
I think it's spread. You can see already he's... if he stays there, then it's okay. Now stay there. Stay down. As long as he doesn't go up there.
Thankfully, the fall to the ground doesn't hurt Slash.
Hey, Chacma.